fireballs are some kind of warning signal from the gods, and some believe it's a sign that the end of the world is near. Whether or not you believe in these superstitions, you cannot deny the fact that the sight of fireballs instills fear. Hundreds of square kilometers of deserted woodland around the Tunguska River in Siberia were destroyed by a massive fireball on June 30th, 1908. The first experts to look into the crash site anticipated finding a meteorite, but their expectation was dashed. Therefore, many concluded that the cause was a comet because no signs of a meteorite were discovered. And indeed, comets, which are essentially dirty ice balls, have the power to wreak havoc and disappear completely. However, more than 100 years later, researchers have confirmed that a meteorite was indeed what caused the damage at the river because scientists from Germany, Ukraine, and the United States have identified its microscopic remains. Many years after, a shockwave knocked people off their feet and tore leaves and branches from trees as the fireball zoomed across the sky, burning everything in its path before leveling a big forest flat. The collision was so powerful that residents were scared. No, the world isn't going to burn. It's just a fireball. Still, the cause of this remains unknown.
In a world where we find comfort in the predictability of nature's rhythms, the unexpected occasionally unfolds against the backdrop of the ordinary. We're used to rain falling from the sky, but imagine something completely different taking its place, like flying cars or even meat. Get ready to be amazed by 15 unbelievable stories of things that dropped from the sky, turning our everyday ideas upside down. Car accidents involving falls from parking structures are the stuff of Hollywood extravaganzas, but reality can be far harsher. In Austin, Texas, a scene eerily resembling a movie unfolded mere months after a film's release. A car, suspended on cables in a parking garage, suddenly plummeted, narrowly missing another vehicle before crashing into an alley. The failure of the retention cables caused the shocking drop, turning an everyday parking experience into a nightmare. Remarkably, both drivers emerged mostly unscathed, shielded perhaps by some unseen guardian angels. In a world where action movies dramatize such incidents, these real-life survivors said the sky is crying with heavy raindrops falling down, as if it feels the world's sadness. But what if the rain isn't quite what it seems? In China's Guangdong province, the city of Guangzhou experienced an astonishing event during a period of intense rainfall. Instead of the usual clear droplets, the rainwater took on a sinister blood-red hue. This eerie occurrence, reminiscent of a supernatural omen, set off a wave of speculation. Some feared a chemical attack, while others wondered if it signaled a long-prophesied reckoning. Yet, as often happens with bizarre weather, no lives were claimed. Meteorologists proposed a more mundane explanation. The crimson color likely stemmed from rain dust, a blend of dirt and microorganisms suspended in the water. Nonetheless, the persistent downpour led to floods that disrupted countless lives.
Is a phenomenon that haunts one's feelings, emotion, and thought, not only because you see something horrifying, but because you don't know what it's capable of doing to you. For a few weeks, unexplained brown or black drops falling on the properties of many residents in an eastern Las Vegas neighborhood left them completely baffled and worried. According to Marco Cervantes, a resident in the area, it rained puddles all over his house, cars, RV, basketball court, and pretty much everything else. At first, he was confused about whether it was grease or oil because the unknown substance had covered up his SUV. However, he couldn't quite figure it out. Apart from these substances increasing car maintenance in the neighborhood, people could no longer cook or just relax outside without having a share of the mysterious drops. At some point, out of curiosity, he questioned whether the droplets might have come from planes flying overhead, but he said that he received no responses after contacting the Federal Aviation Administration. He further questioned whether the material would be poisonous or bad for his health and the entire neighborhood. What makes this scariest is the fact that responses didn't come from supposed sectors and nothing was known about the substance.
As the sun dips below the horizon, casting the sky in brilliant hues of red and gold, a mesmerizing sight unfolds. Content creators dub this time the golden hour, capitalizing on nature's exquisite beauty. But there exists a phenomenon even more spectacular: the sun pillar. These colossal columns of light stretch skyward, occasionally rising 5 to 10 degrees above or below the horizon. While science attributes them to hexagonal ice crystals reflecting sunlight, their majestic presence often sparks wild speculation. Unwarranted UFO alarms notwithstanding, these pillars occasionally grace the night sky, their ethereal glow captivating all who gaze upon them.
But only a few have seen it work. I'd say this man was lucky because he was not in this car when a strange object dropped from the sky and smashed his van in Milwaukee. This weird object crashed to the ground over Milwaukee, shattering a van's top. According to the owner of the vehicle, Michael Robinson, it was big and hefty and looked like a barbecue grill in the snow, but it smelled like diesel. The item was carried away by the police, and the FAA didn't answer questions regarding the matter. Robinson described it as having the appearance of a cone, but with a hollow interior and a heavy top. According to Robinson, his neighbor called him and explained to him that she was looking out the window when she heard a loud thump. This object was heavy and cannot be thrown by humans. Considering the amount of damage done to the car, the only valid explanation is that the object fell from the sky. Although this car was damaged, we're glad nobody was hurt.
Imagine a peaceful day in Mexico, disrupted by a sudden dark mass plummeting from the sky. It's not a scene from a horror movie, but an actual occurrence. Thousands of birds fell from the heavens, hitting the ground with a resounding thud.
Hundreds of the birds appear like a plume of black smoke.
This bizarre avian freefall stirred a storm of theories, power lines, toxic gas, even electromagnetic warfare between nations. Conspiracy theories bloomed, while experts quickly quashed them with a more plausible explanation. The phenomenon, they said, stemmed from a panicked maneuver known as murmuration, a rapid descent to escape a predator. The birds, caught between survival and gravity's pull, met an
To German Space Agency authorities, an ancient German satellite that fell from the sky over the Bay of Bengal into the Northeast Indian Ocean most certainly met a watery death. Let's do a quick flashback into the history of this satellite. ROSAT was sent into orbit in June 1990 with an X-ray telescope to do an all-sky survey. Unfortunately, when the satellite's inbuilt star tracker malfunctioned in 1998 and its X-ray sensors were pointed directly at the sun, the satellite sustained irreparable damage. Following this outrun, the spacecraft was officially declared to be inoperative in February 1999. Surprisingly, on October 22nd, the ROSAT, a 21-year-old satellite, returned to Earth's atmosphere. According to representatives of the German Aerospace Center, DLR, it's presently unknown whether any pieces of the 2.7-ton satellite survived its catastrophic ascent through the atmosphere and made it to the planet's surface. The precise timing and location of ROSAT's re-entry, according to DLR officials, were determined using information about the satellite's orbital path and other tracking data provided by international partners, including the United States. German aerospace officials had earlier predicted that up to 30 large parts, each weighing up to 1.9 tons, could survive the violent journey and make it to the planet's surface. However, the satellite most certainly broke apart as it re-entered Earth's atmosphere. Most of the heat-resistant mirrors and other ceramic components of the spaceship were anticipated to make up these fragments. About a month before the fall, a retired NASA climate satellite similarly crashed to Earth at the end of its mission. The UARS satellite, weighing 6.5 tons, was the largest NASA satellite to fall out of orbit without being recovered since 1979. The good news is that neither satellite disaster resulted in any injuries to those on the ground.
Enigmas on our list, the phenomenon of the ball of lightning stands out as a baffling puzzle that has stumped researchers for centuries. Attempts to decipher the origins of these luminous spheres, which materialize during thunderstorms, have yielded no satisfactory answers. While scientists acknowledge their existence, they remain clueless about how and where they form. These orbs can vary in size, ranging from pea-sized to several meters in diameter, emitting a unique blend of blue, orange, and yellow hues. Witnesses report a hissing sound and a distinct odor accompanying these ethereal balls, adding to their mystique. Documented instances of these phenomena date back to 1638, when a church in England bore witness to a fiery intrusion. As scientific inquiry grapples with the nature of these luminous spheres, one thing remains certain: the ball of lightning is a captivating enigma, a glimpse into the unknown.
Mexico, a metallic ball dropped from the sky, and people are yet to know what it is exactly. The weird object was discussed by a local television meteorologist who noted that it had an antenna. The most likely explanation is that the object is spaceship debris, despite some light-hearted speculation to the contrary. This mysterious, smooth, round object that fell on a tree in Mexico has sparked a variety of hypotheses on social media regarding its origin. The mysterious orb-shaped object, which produced a dreadful sound as it descended from the sky but did not ignite or discharge any fire, was described as having about the size of a giant beach ball. Locals claim they heard the sphere making noise as it descended, but no fire was released, and this made some people think it was some kind of alien technology.
To witness a blazing meteoric descent, only for it to defy convention. Scotland, Northern Ireland, and England, more than 800 individuals reported observing a fireball that defied typical meteor behavior. Instead of disintegrating upon entry, this fireball persisted, emitting a resounding boom alongside its luminous display. A unique combination of brightness and duration puzzled astronomers and space enthusiasts alike. Speculation over its origin ranged from space debris to alien intervention. Despite conflicting theories, scientists concluded that it was unlikely to have triggered an extinction-level event akin to the one that wiped out the dinosaurs.
Plane crashes are not pleasant occurrences, and now absolutely no one looks forward to hearing the breaking news. As such, over 100 rescue workers were sent in from all over the Thai capital after local authorities mistook an unknown blaze for a plane crash. Soon after the odd object emerged, several dashcam footages were posted on social media, sparking discussion between astronomers and authorities over the origins of the blazing debris. This fireball was seen flying over Bangkok in broad daylight and was captured on several dash cams. The sudden emergence of the fireball forced officials to send firefighters and rescue personnel to the scene, not knowing that it wasn't any serious threat. The bright ball descended during the morning rush hour in Bangkok, and upon mistaking the explosion for a plane accident, local officials in Nakhon Ratchasima, northeast of the Thai capital, sent out more than 100 rescue personnel and firefighters to look for the wreckage. Far from the emergence of the fireball, I'd like to give kudos to all local officials and emergency units for their swift response. According to sources, the search was called off 2 hours later after officials learned there had been no recorded plane crash and no debris had been discovered. Since then, astronomers and authorities have debated the origin of this blazing object, because to some astronomers, meteorites and other space debris typically burn up in the atmosphere before they reach the ground.
Believed to be ethereal beings that can assume diverse forms, have long captivated human imagination. In a realm where celestial figures are often depicted with wings, a mysterious event captured on security footage added a surreal twist. A radiant figure with wings was seen descending onto the first floor of a nearly deserted mall, only to vanish as swiftly as it appeared. Witnesses who rushed to the spot found a faintly glowing imprint, visible even in darkness. While skepticism surrounding the authenticity of the footage persists, its creation predates the era of sophisticated video manipulation, leaving room for pondering whether this encounter was more than a mere optical illusion. Phrase, "It's raining cats and dogs"? Well, in Texarkana, Texas, the skies decided to take a more aquatic approach. Fish, propelled by strong weather patterns like waterspouts, descended from the heavens, catching residents off guard. As 2021 ended, a chorus of thunder accompanied the unexpected downpour of fish. Witnesses reported seeing fish scattered on driveways, roads, gardens, and pathways. An explanation emerged. A watersprout had formed over a nearby lake and river system, scooping up the marine life and depositing it in unusual locations. This phenomenon, aptly termed animal rain, serves as a reminder of the unpredictable wonders our skies can hold.
Exciting to see from a safe distance, but not fun to experience. These chilly white stones can cause a lot of damage to lives and properties. For instance, a 20-month-old baby girl was killed by hail in La Bisbal d'Empordà, 130 kilometers north of Barcelona, when it struck her in the head. Pere Aragonès, the regional president of Catalonia, congratulated the emergency personnel for their work and expressed his sympathies to the baby's family. The biggest hailstone to ever be recorded occurred in Coffeyville early on September 3, 1970, in the evening. The hailstone had a huge circumference and weighed 1.67 pounds, and scientists think it traveled at a speed of 105 miles per hour when it hit the earth. hail can kill humans and cattle and even cause damage to buildings, automobiles, and airplanes. A devastating hailstorm with some hailstones measuring as big as 10 centimeters unleashed rage on the northeastern part of Spain. Damage has also been done to homes, cars, and electricity lines that were torn down. Hail is one of the most expensive natural catastrophes every year, costing more than $1.6 billion in damage to residential roofs in the United States. A little piece of advice: your umbrella is useless when a hailstorm comes raging furiously. You'd better run.
Otherwise ordinary Saturday afternoon, the unexpected rained down from the skies above. A perplexing call to 911 reported airplane debris scattered near 136th Avenue and Sheridan Boulevard. Responders rushed to the scene to discover a baffling array of airplane parts strewn across Commons Park and 3 surrounding neighborhoods. Little did they know, a United Airlines flight had lost an engine mid-flight, shedding fragments as it battled to return to the ground. Witnesses likened the sound of debris impacting the earth to that of an empty dump truck traversing a pothole. Remarkably, amidst the chaos, not a single injury was reported among the 241 people aboard the aircraft or the unsuspecting residents below. As the scattered remnants unfolded a surreal mosaic of chance and fortune, both passengers and residents breathed sighs of relief, while the incident added another chapter to the annals of aviation oddities.
When the district of Penrith reached 47.3 degrees Celsius on that fateful day, Sydney experienced its hottest day since 1939. The Wildlife Information Rescue and Education Service of New South Wales warned that the number of bats lost due to the harsh conditions could reach thousands. More than 100 of the animals were rescued, but many others were strewn across the ground, and those that were still hanging to trees perished. Many lives were saved, but regrettably, many more were also lost. Volunteers worked diligently to deliver necessary fluids to the puppies that could be reached under incredibly trying conditions. With temperatures slightly above 116 degrees Fahrenheit, Australia is witnessing almost record-breaking high temperatures. Australian beaches have seen a rise in visitors as people try to avoid dangers like heat fatigue and heat stroke since it became so hot. The extreme heat has also affected Australian animals. More than 400 flying foxes from a nearby bat colony were reportedly found dead, probably as a result of the heat, according to conservation organization Help Save the Wildlife in Bushlands in Campbelltown, which operates just south of Sydney. Pictures display rows of flying fox bodies that were either gathered from trees or discovered after falling to the ground. According to some experts, dehydration is said to have caused the animals' deaths. The National Wildlife Federation claims that as the temperatures rise above 100 degrees Fahrenheit, bats struggle to control their body.
Dreams. A highway in California experienced an unexpected money shower. Imagine pulling over to witness a cascade of $20 bills falling from a Brinks truck, an inadvertent jackpot. The sight drew motorists to a halt as they gleefully collected the windfall, temporarily turning the busy thoroughfare into a money-hunting frenzy.
The most insane thing I've ever seen. Someone dropped money all over the freeway.
Cameras rolled as joyous individuals reveled in their unexpected fortune, some for their involvement and warning others of potential legal consequences as the allure of free money yielded to the reality of accountability. This serendipitous windfall served as a reminder that life's unexpected surprises often come with strings.
Fateful Thursday night, a bizarre, menacing-looking cloud appeared over a village in Brazil, shocking the locals and leaving some of them wondering whether it was the start of a greater evil. At first glance, the mysterious cloud appears to be a tornado or meteorite trail that's been frozen in place just before disaster strikes. However, it appears to be more like an odd cloud structure upon closer inspection. In the southernmost city of the Brazilian state of Bahia, João Paulo Magalhães photographed the cloud in all its splendor around 5 o'clock. People were concerned that the extremely uncommon cloud, which was only present for around 4 minutes, may turn into a tornado. For this, many were worried and restless. One of the things that most people can agree on is that when they see something that doesn't belong where it was, or something strange, their memories flicker to Brazil. This strange cloud in Brazil almost rocked an entire community because what they saw in the sky wasn't just a cloud, it seemed to be of an apocalyptic origin. It was bright red and orange and had a very unusual shape. People really didn't know what to make out of it, but it looked like the entrance of a meteorite, and people were too scared and thought that it would form a tornado. The good news is that this cloud, whatever it was, broke apart a few moments later, showing that it wasn't a true threat to the people of the town. So here's the big question. What was the cloud and why did it form? It's honestly hard to say. Local reporters believed that it was a dust cloud, but nobody really believed that. How would a dust cloud get that high into the sky without touching the ground? Secondly, why would it look like it was raining down from the sky in such a way? Lastly, how do we explain color formation? We're not saying that these people witnessed the sign of the apocalypse, but they did witness something that can't be easily explained.
A place where spirituality and symbolism intertwine, an extraordinary event unfolded above the holy city of Mecca in Saudi Arabia. Amidst the gathering of millions, a radiant figure descended from the sky, its brilliance leaving onlookers awestruck. While captured in 2008 when video technology was less advanced, the footage reveals a celestial gleam hovering above the Kaaba. Witness accounts narrate an ethereal light descending, prompting speculation of divine intervention. Was this an otherworldly presence or a trick of the light? Whether a camera lens flare or a celestial emissary, the event remains an enigma, adding a layer of mystique to one of Islam's most significant. Throughout history, locust swarms have invoked a sense of dread, resonating with both religious texts and contemporary agricultural concerns. The Bible and the Quran alike acknowledge these swarms as harbingers of trouble, targeting lands of sinners. Modern farmers still grapple with the nightmarish reality of locust invasions. As these voracious insects draw near, the skies darken, and fields of crops fall victim to their ravenous appetites. Russian boys attempted to capture them in vain, their nets proving no match for the airborne onslaught. In East Africa, an already precarious food supply confronted an additional crisis as locusts swarmed, their relentless consumption amplifying the region's vulnerability. This devastating convergence coincided with the COVID-19 pandemic, further exacerbating the challenges faced by affected communities. Kenyan and Somali farmers experienced not one, but two waves of infestation, the latter dwarfing the former in scale, consuming an astonishing quantity of crops in a single day. The locust's reign of destruction serves as a grim reminder of the delicate balance between it graced the skies. A sprawling city seemingly suspended amidst the clouds, reminiscent of ancient myths where gods resided atop mountains. This phenomenon captured the imagination. Videos proliferated, showcasing floating cities seen from various locations across mainland China. Skeptics dismissed it as a hoax, a digital manipulation born of boredom. However, some explanations leaned toward Fata Morgana, a complex mirage resulting from differing air temperatures. This atmospheric quirk could create a striking visual illusion, making objects appear to float above their actual location. As the boundary between reality and illusion blurred, the mysterious floating cities left an indelible mark on China's collective consciousness. March 3, 1876, etched an unusual chapter in the annals of bizarre events, the Kentucky meat shower. Over Olympia Springs in Bath County, Kentucky, chunks of meat rained from the sky, astounding witnesses. Ellen Crouch's residence became ground zero for this peculiar occurrence, with meat chunks reportedly the size of arms descending upon the landscape. Mrs. Crouch likened the experience to a macabre version of a hailstorm. News of the incident drew the curious, including two gentlemen who sampled the meat, deeming it akin to venison or mutton. However, subsequent analysis unveiled a less carnivorous explanation. A later discovery identified the phenomenon as nostoc, a type of cyanobacteria that assumes a gelatinous form when exposed to moisture. The fascination of the Kentucky meat shower serves as a reminder that even in the vast expanse of our universe, Earth continues to surprise us with its unexplained marvels. Alrighty folks, that's a wrap for this video. We hope you found it informative and enjoyable. So, what are your thoughts about these surprising things falling from the sky? Share in the comments below. Moreover, if you appreciate our content and wish to stay updated on our latest releases, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell. Your support means the world to us. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, stay curious and keep exploring. In a mesmerizing display captured off the coast of Spanish waters, an unidentified flying object stole the show. This striking footage, recorded in broad daylight, unveils a sequence that defies explanation. As the engines of fighter jets roar in the distance, drawing the attention of local trawlers, anticipation builds. Suddenly, an enigmatic craft descends into the water, leaving a significant splash in its wake. The presence of military helicopters responding to the incident lends credibility to the event's authenticity. The fisherman's genuine shock and the chopper's evacuation orders underscore the gravity of the sighting. Some skeptics may dismiss it as CGI wizardry, yet the Navy's swift intervention suggests otherwise. Amidst the intrigue, one fact remains clear. The skies continue to harbor mysteries that elude our understanding.
Lastly, we have another case of space disturbing our world. According to press accounts, a weird metal ball reportedly fell from the sky and struck a rural grassland in northern Namibia. The metallic sphere, which measured 14 inches in diameter and 35 centimeters in diameter, fell to Earth roughly 480 miles north of Windhoek, the nation's capital. According to Agence France Presse, it created a crater 12.5 feet broad and 13 inches deep. The space ball is a 13-pound piece of metal. According to AFP, it looks to be made up of two sections that were welded together and has a rough surface. When the mysterious ball was found in the middle of nowhere, the discovery wasn't officially announced until after a few tests that concluded that the public was not at risk. Hifindaka and his associates are still unsure about the object's nature and precise origin. A few days before the ball's discovery, the neighborhood reportedly heard several tiny explosions. And over the past 20 years, similarly shaped objects have also been discovered in Australia and Central America, according to local officials. For instance, NASA's decommissioned Upper Atmosphere Research Satellite, a 6.5-ton spacecraft that tracked the climate from 1991 to 2005, crashed into the atmosphere over the Pacific Ocean in September.